and welcome to an awesome new episode of Coach's Corner. My name is Elizabeth Moo, and I'm a fourth year double major in dance and psychology social behavior. So here in college, we have a lot of great people. They're all very unique, but one thing we have in common is that we all have to study. And as you probably know, a lot of people have great study habits, but there's also those people who maybe don't have so great of study habits. So today we're going to talk about some good study habits and also some not so great things to help you out. First off, we're going to start with some of the bad things before we get to the really great helpful things. So let's talk about some bad study habits, and maybe you have some of these that you'll notice and you can change. So one of the study habits that we're going to talk about that isn't so great is not giving yourself sufficient time. So if you have maybe 15 minutes to study a whole chapter, how are you going to absorb all of that information? And go in one ear, out the other. So give yourself enough time. Give yourself the credit to really learn things as well as you can. So another study habit that isn't so great is procrastinating. And I'm sure everyone has been guilty of doing this at some point. So what is procrastination? Say you have an assignment due tomorrow and you come home and you're like, you know, my favorite TV show's on, so I'm gonna watch that first. But then afterwards I'll study. But you know, you get really tired from watching TV, maybe you get a little drowsy and you take a nap, and you wake up, you're hungry, you go to the store to get food, and by the time that you're done, the assignment is probably due in a couple hours, and then you're not going to do well. So procrastination, not so great. Make sure you give yourself the time to plan things ahead. Another bad study habit is cramming. Related to procrastinating, you leave things to the last second and then you're trying to force everything into your brain with very little time. So don't do that. I know a lot of people do it, but it's really not the best way to learn things. You may learn it enough for the test, but afterwards, it's gonna be gone. Oh, and now some good study habits. If you're struggling with studying, avoid absolute statements. That's something like, oh, I never do things right, I always get things wrong. Instead, think of something more positive, like, okay, I didn't do so well this time, but next time I'm gonna have it. So having this more optimistic view will help you in the long run. Another good study habit is taking breaks. So don't ever study for too long because your brain needs a break too. Go ahead and take maybe 5 minutes to just step back, do something else, then bring it back into study. But be careful, you don't want to take too long of a break. You don't want to be taking a nap because then that breaks up your study time. So keep all these study habits in mind the next time you're going to have a study session. And this isn't the list of all the possible study habits, but find what works best for you. Before I let you all go though, I do have a very important question. Are you ready for this? Why can't you take a test in the jungle? Because there are too many cheetahs! It's a knee slapper. So that's all the time we have for today. Again, my name is Elizabeth Moo. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Coach's Corner, and I'll see you all next week for another awesome episode.